I'm probably going to sound like a broken record here. I mean, I said pretty much the same thing when Division 2 came out, talking about the gear system and how it just didn't look good. The skill mod system just wasn't up to snuff. I said the same thing with TU8, how they were changing the gear around, how they were getting rid of, a lot of the randomness and basically making it a very streamlined process for everyone to easily understand. And yet again, here we are. Developers just keep pushing the stupid button, and we're looking at more stupidity. Look, rainbow rolls exist. They happen. I don't have a problem with rainbow rolls. Yeah, I get pissed off that my gear rolls suck and that I'm playing on legendary and I'm not getting usable stuff, or I'm playing on heroic and getting gear that I would honestly expect to find in story mode or on normal difficulty. Just, trash gear. That bothers me, yes, because I'm playing on a difficulty where I expect better gear. What I do not expect is the developers to constantly tell me what brand sets are good for what, and I have to use it like this no matter what. And that's what we're going to see. That is what we are building up to. And some of you may like this. Some of you may be so one-sided that you only use one color, one build, and that's it. I mean, that's fine. You can go into the DZ and find plenty of these players who only can build, the Intimidate, Adrenaline Rush builds, and that's the only thing they can use in PvP. For everyone else, this is going to hurt their build diversity a lot. And the reason I say this, if you go through your gear, if you look at the stats that you want, maybe some things that you're interested in, maybe some things that you have been thinking about building, this change is going to kill a lot of that. It is going to kill hybrid builds. It is going to kill a lot of deviant builds, some builds that maybe people didn't even know they wanted yet, but they're never going to be able to get. And honestly, I don't know how they're going to go about with the change, but it's not really going to affect me too much personally, just because I already have a lot of these pieces that I want. But let's say in the future I come out with a build that you can't make anymore. That's going to be aggravating for a lot of people, because if you get killed in the DZ by the newest meta that you could have only got if you had these pieces a month ago or 2 months ago, it is going to cause an uproar in the community. Let's just face it. Just like when the clan vendors offered some of the best gear and you had to clan hop to get it, right? There were people who were like, I'm not going to clan hop just to get the gear, and they never got it, and then those pieces became meta in the DZ or meta in the conflict, and it was just basically like a sticking point where this is crap, right? We could possibly run into the same thing again. If what they're saying happens, every piece of Gilligard or whatever you get will always have 2 of that color. So all your Gilligard will have 2 blues on it and just 1 color of whatever else. So a red or a yellow or a blue. Meaning you will no longer be able to make a 3 red Gilligard. You will no longer be able to make a 3 yellow Gilligard. Now maybe some of you have no interest in that, but there are people who do have interest in that. Take Y'all Gear for example. If Y'all Gear rolls with a blue core, that means you are going to have 1 blue roll on it. So you are going to have a total of 2 blue rolls. So if you wanted to go for a DPS Y'all build, you couldn't do it anymore. If you wanted to roll weapon damage, crit chance on your Y'all Gear, you can't get that anymore. That's what's going to happen with the PTS and TU11. And this is going to be the same thing for apparently gear sets as well. If you want to use system corruption, for example, let's say you want all blues on your system corruption. Well, half of the system corruption come with blue, half of them come with red. So that means that if you wanted all blue on it, you would need to roll at least one of those pieces with the blue attribute that you wanted, and then change the core attribute to armor. This won't be able to happen because your system corruption mask, for example, will have a red core, so it will have a red attribute, meaning you will only be able to roll one of those off. And this goes for every single gear set in the game. If there is something different that you wanted to try out, like tip of the spear and tardigrade, right, where you could basically constantly get back your special ammo so that you could constantly proc your tardigrade for your allies. You won't really be able to do it very effectively because you won't be able to roll all blues onto your gear set. I mean, that's something that I was trying. I didn't really like it, but some people might. An all blue tip of the spear with tardigrade. Some people might like that, but you won't be able to build that anymore. Or in the case of Foundry Bulwark, I actually like having red on my Foundry Bulwark pieces because I like being able to have a good shield, or at least a decent shield, with a nice significant amount of damage. But again, you won't be able to do that because you'll be stuck with 2 blues and you won't be able to get 2 reds. And I know personally that I put a high value on the all yellow Golan gear. Having skill tier, skill haste, and status effects rolled onto your Golan gear can give you a very good boost to your actual status effect builds. I mean, if you're not using, like the Technician. If you're using the Technician, obviously you want armor because, you already have 6. But there are certain circumstances where you would want all yellows on Golan gear. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. And, this just builds on the dumbing down of the game, going back to the original vision that they had for the new gear system, which, a lot of people didn't like the way that it rolled. I didn't like it either. There were some significant problems with the way that the gear stats were actually allocated to the different pieces, and certain brands had more attributes than the other ones, so it created a system that just, detracted from a lot of the brand sets, and it didn't work very well. It wasn't good. But it was more interesting. You could get a lot more options out of it. You could get a lot more, detail out of your build, and basically just, build a build that was actually more catered to your playstyle, that was more centered to what you wanted. Now it's terrible. Let's just be honest. Building in this current system is not as fun as it was. To go back even further to Division 1, even the best system in Division 2 was not as fun as the systems in Division 1. Division 1 just felt like an RPG. Division 1 felt like a stat system that actually had potential to it. The more they've tried to get away from Division 1, the worse the system has gotten. The customization has just gone downhill, and it doesn't feel good. We play this game because of the customization options. We play this game because we want to make the build our own. We want to make something unique and fun for our playstyles. And the more they change this, the more they dive into this, the worse it is feeling, the worse it is getting. The more that they change things in the game, we all know it. You can't deny it. The more they F with the game, the worse it gets. The worse every single aspect of this game gets. All the glitches that they add in because they try to change this. All the malfunctions that we get because of the changes that they make previously. Everything just constantly compiling and just making a bigger mess of this game. It gets more and more frustrating. It gets more and more annoying. You just lose interest because you just don't care anymore. You don't want to build anymore because it's not fun. The results are not there. The options are not there. It's not fun. And of course, obviously we all know about the double rolling of Classified and how it basically just made it so easy to just get a max build without even doing anything. I mean, one global event and you pretty much got all the gear you needed and you didn't have to worry about anything because you could just roll everything off. You could just change everything and then you could boost it up without any problem. It really just created a very easy, very basic, very boring system that allowed everyone to get max gear incredibly quickly and really just ruined a lot of the grind of the game. And I understand. Some people just want to have the gear. I mean, at this point, I don't even understand why you actually play a game because you just want it to be there. Like that's annoying to me. I'm playing the game because I want to get the best stuff. I want to keep trying to get better and better things. I don't want to just get one thing and then it becomes the best because I just rolled it a bunch of times. That is boring. That's dumb. Okay? The game is a looter game. It's about getting better loot. I honestly don't know about these changes. I do not look forward to this. This seems like a very stupid thing. And as I'm sure some of you point out, well, that's just, the potential change for the PTS. Like, when is the last time we went into the PTS thinking that we were going to get something good, thinking that something was going to come out well, thinking that, they were going to make smart changes at the end, and then once it came time to actually putting it in the live game, we got some really stupid shit. We got a huge amount of problems that were identified in the PTS that they didn't do anything about. And then for the next year, we're still complaining about those changes and those things needing to be fixed. That'll do it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.